What's up, guys? Rolling Wolf here. It is August 20th. It is 1 p.m. Eastern, and I'm just going to do a quick midday video lesson here. This is CVSI. I'm sure most of you have been watching it today if you're watching my video. It's an OTC. It is a weed stock, and weed stocks, the whole sector has been pretty hot lately. But CVSI in particular has been running for a month, and prior to that, it's been running basically all year. But today we had a parabolic move. But to give you some context, about a month ago, they dropped a PR about an uplisting to NASDAQ, possible uplisting. I think they were applying for one. I have to go back and look. And then they had earnings, and just kind of like a multitude of catalysts, along with a breakout over this 275 level from back in June. And it's been on a great run for a couple weeks now. So I personally played it a couple times to the long side, just small size, nothing major. I just didn't have like the cojones to swing this thing. Even though, you know, when I did see this break too and then have these multiple catalysts, I was thinking swing. It's just a skill I need to get better at. But today we had a parabolic move. The last 2 days, really, it's moved quite a bit for a stock like this that generally doesn't have this much range. But Friday it dipped and then went from the 540s to the 680s. Today gapped up and went to $9. I was ignoring this, overextended. I wasn't going to chase something like CVSI up this high, no way. But it was doing killer volume, and it's doing even more amazing volume now. It's traded almost 20 million shares today. Massive volume for an OTC. And that's one of the reasons I haven't been trading OTC so much this year, is because the liquidity hasn't quite been there. So I've been ignoring most OTC action, bar some random weed swings or something like that, which I haven't had many of. But CVSI, it's down 40% now today. It's done 135 million in dollar volume. I mean, massive volume. And that's what drew my attention. I saw CVSI obviously going parabolic. I was going to ignore it. And then it started to panic midday. And I know Citron Research tweeted something. I don't know the exact time. Let me see. Citron Research tweeted, misrepresentation by management, total bull case based on rejected patents. The company never disclosed, continues to hype, securities fraud, blah, blah, blah. So, these guys, they are short biased and they have a lot of good research that they do. In this case, it's about these patents. But I'm pretty sure that the panic had already begun prior to this tweet. Either way, it may have aided, but we got a sweet panic. So now we get to this pattern. Okay, we've got an OTC panic doing great volume on our hands. How do we play it then? The key is not to just jump in because you think a level should hold. That is silly. There are several keys. One is not to just jump in. Two, and probably the most important thing, is watching level two. I wish I would have had level two recorded on this one because it was really nice. It was a perfect OTC panic doing great volume. And when an OTC gets volume like this, they tend to move really nicely, which you can see on this pattern here. Just red candle after red candle after red candle. You won't see this pattern on NASDAQs. I have yet to see it. I mean, not really. Not this clean. I don't know if any of you know Heikin-Ashi charts, but it basically looks like one of those. And just super clean. So when we get a panic like this, I'm thinking dip buy, but I have to wait for confirmation on level two. I have to wait for buying volume to come in. I have to wait for people to stop jumping the bid, because that's what creates these panics. OTCs can be really hard to get executed, especially during a panic. If you're long, you're trying to sell your shares and it's panicking, it's very difficult to get out of. People know that, so they're jumping the bid. People are hitting market sell, and the market makers are doing whatever they want with it, jumping the bid. And that is actually, you can actually see that on level two. Between level two and time and sales, you will see a bunch of sells going through below the bid. So what do? I wait. 7 doesn't have to hold. 650, 6 doesn't have to hold. 5, obviously, as you can see here, doesn't have to hold. This is just an amazing panic here. But in terms of my trade, I waited to see that panic stop and a reversal on the level 2 in time and sales, which was pretty apparent. Buying volume came in on this candle. and I was one of the buyers. I got some in the 330s, some in the, or I'm sorry, 530s, some in the 560s, and ended up with the 8K average of 555, risking 520. Thereabouts. If we didn't get continuation like this and it pressed down back at this level, I may have just taken it off and eaten a small loss. Very, very important. This is a very dangerous play. I mean, it's a falling knife and it can keep going. So if you have issues cutting losses or any real serious issues that you need to take care of, you have to be careful with plays like this. That being said, buying volume obviously came in, and it was here 1325 or so, 125 or so, and you know, you had a 500,000 share candle there. It was the biggest volume it's actually done all day up to that point, was this bounce candle. So for me, that was my indication that buying volume was stepping in and the first bounce is on. So I was looking for this bounce. Usually I'm trying to get this first bounce on OTC panic and nothing else. These things can go down much further than you think, obviously. I'm sure there are a lot of people trapped in this right now. But was a great short. I had the dip buy, and then the level 2 was very clean on this bounce. You had people jumping the ask, jumping over the offer to get filled. And whether it's shorts covering or dip buyers coming in or whatever it is, it created this upwards momentum. And for me, this is all I'm looking for. I was not looking to take this back to $9. I was looking for a bounce, and I got a 20% bounce and took profits here in the 650s, 660s. Made about $8,000. I got a point on this bounce, and that was it. So absolute perfect trade for me. I was so excited when this started panicking because I haven't gotten to play an OTC panic for a while, but this is one of my favorite setups. But you have to have discipline to play it. You have to know how to read level 2, time and sales, and recognize how OTCs move when they have volume like this. So I mean, great trade here. Obviously, you got another second little bounce, and then once it broke down below 520 again, it was done. Now we're down in the 3s. So that's why you have to be so careful. I'm not looking to dip buy this anymore. I'm sure it will bounce, but I got my good trade in for the day. I'm not going to give any back just because. But great trade, just amazing action, especially for an OTC. It's now went from one of the biggest percent gainers to the biggest percent loser on the day, or just about. So hope this was helpful. To kind of sum this strategy up, it's an OTC panic, and you can see the panic here, and I'm looking for this first bounce on the panic. I wait for buying volume to come in, or a clear reversal on the level 2 where people stop jumping the bid, or maybe someone's soaking size on the bid. In this case, it was really clean and apparent. Buyer stepped in, period. And it was the first time during this panic that buyers really did step in. So for me, it was worth taking the risk. My risk was a little bigger than normal. I was basically risking a couple grand, but I probably would have sold. This is the kind of position where I play it very carefully, and I will take some off prematurely if need be, because I know what the second leg of a panic can look like, which is this. This could have easily failed here on the second or third green candle, or $6, and then quickly pulled, and you get stuck with too many shares, you're in trouble. So for me, the key was selling into strength and waiting for this clear reversal on level 2 in time and sales. But great trade, great start to the week. Especially this morning, I had a losing trade on SSN. Was it SSC? I'm sorry. And it was just a bad mistake. I bought a little bit too early this morning. There was a ton of overhead, resistance from pre-market, and I was just a little kind of excited this morning to trade, I guess you could say. And generally what's been keeping me safe this year is not trading for like the first 10 to 15 minutes. And I've had good discipline like that. It's helped me so much, especially in the current market environment over the last couple weeks and months even, where it's been pretty slow. We haven't had too many good morning spikes. So I've been careful. I was just kind of careless this morning. Thought I was dip buying and then bought into a panic, had to cut. But still end up on the day green. I lost about 500, 600 bucks on that trade, but still up 7,500 on the day. So pretty awesome. OTC panics can be awesome. You just need to make sure the liquidity's there. Also, for the upcoming boot camp in November, we do have a venue locked up. We do have a date locked up. If you were one of the people who took part in the promotion with the trading guide, you'll be getting that RSVP either today or tomorrow. And it's going to be awesome, guys. It's going to be 2 days. On Sunday, it's going to be just lessons, and we're going to do lectures and stuff like that, Q&A. On Monday, we're going to be basically live trading all day long. So it's going to be fun. I'm really, really looking forward to it. I really appreciate the support. If you guys have any questions or comments, leave them down below. Subscribe to the channel if you like my videos. I'm going to try to be very, very consistent here for you guys and get as much good info out there as I can. And yeah, I hope everyone has a good, safe Monday, and we will catch you guys soon. Have a good one.